Chapter 18. Nature. The manageress of Kinlochruagh Hotel was a friend of Mrs. Thor and invited her children north for the summer holidays. They boarded a bus one morning in a garage on Broomy Law, and it took them through shadows of warehouses and tenements into bright sunlight on the broad, tree-lined Great Western Road. They hurled past Victorian terraces and gardens and hotels, past merchants' villas and municipal housing schemes, into a region which, though open to the sky, could not be called country. New factories stood among tracts of weeds and thistles, and pylons grouped on hillsides, and wire fences protected rows of grassy domes joined by metal tubes. The Clyde, on their left, widened to a firth, the central channel marked by buoys and tiny lighthouses. A long grey tanker moved processionally seawards between tugboats and was passed by a cargo ship going the other way. The hills on the right got steeper and nearer. The road was pinched between the river and a wooded crag. Then they saw ahead of them the great rock of Dumbarton, holding the ancient fort above roofs of the town. The bus turned north up the Vale of Leven, sometimes travelling between fields and sometimes through crooked streets of industrial villages, and ran along the western shore. Islands lay with trees, fields and cottages on them, like broken-off pieces of the surrounding land. And on the far side arose the great head and shoulders of Ben Lomond. Fields gave way to heather, and the islands grew small and rocky. The loch became a corridor of water between high-sided bends, with the road twisting through trees and boulders at the feet of them. The bus was full of folk going north for the holidays. Climbers sat at the back, singing bawdy mountaineering songs, and Thor pressed his brow to the cool window and felt desperate. On leaving home, he had taken a grain of ephedrine and boarded the bus feeling fairly well, but beyond Dumbarton his breathing worsened, and now he tried to forget it by concentrating on the ache the vibrating glass made in the bones of his skull. In the passing land outside, the colours were raw green or dead grey. Grey road, crags and tree trunks, green leaves, grass, bracken and heather. His eyes were sick of dead grey and raw green. The yellow or purple spots of occasional roadside flowers shrieked like tiny discords in an orchestra where every instrument played over and over again the same two notes. Ruth said, "Feeling cheesed off, brother mine?" "Aye, a bit. It's getting worse." "Cheer up. You'll be fine when we arrive." "It's not easy." "Och, you're too pessimistic." "I'm sure you wouldn't get so bad if you were less pessimistic."